We got new music, we got old music, we got old blues, we got some neo soul, I got some punk. I got, I got lots. I even got some VLCT. Join me. Welcome to the Early Morning Sunday Show.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And welcome. It's time for the Early Morning Sunday Show. The opening today, that was at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. It is an incredible museum. You got three different things you can do. You can take a tour of a auto assembly plant. Actually, they make pickup trucks. You can go to a recreated village that is gigantic. Or what we did this time is we were inside the actual museum, and after 4 hours, we didn't even cover half of it. But I saw the cars. I like cars. So that was cool. So it's a fun place. Hadn't been there in a while, so it was good to go back and revisit. So that's actually what I did on record store day. That's my record store day. So I popped into a few record stores quickly, but this was planned with some friends, so it was a very good time. But you came probably not to see the Travel Channel, though that would be fun to have, but to see some records. And so, yeah, I'm gonna jump into it because I got some pretty cool stuff, some newer things, and we're going to begin with a group. It's a twofer. So I bought two, couldn't buy one. Let's buy two. Inüit. This is Sam Final Douche approved, so you know it's got to be pretty good music here. He recently had just talked about this one and had enjoyed it. This was at a very good price, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get both of them. So, Inüit, they're from France. My problem with France is I'm not allowed into the country. I've been blocked. I can't. My passport has been flagged. It is. I have butchered their language so badly that they just find me a menace to society, and I can't get there. And Quebec's looking at that too, so it's been very it's discouraging for me because I would like to go. You know, I buy their music, but it just doesn't matter. So even though I'm calling it Inüit, it's probably pronounced totally different than that, but that's what it looks like to me. And they're out of Paris, formed in 2014, started as a 4-piece band. They're now a 5-piece band, and this means in French, waiting for Anna. And again, I was totally wrong. I thought it meant Anna's like a flight attendant, but that's not it. So I want that cleared up. It's Waiting for Anna. And and where that came about, actually, the story was they were in Brussels. The band members were in Brussels, and they're in a cafe, and they're waiting for a drink. And the name of their server was Anna. Well, she was having a terrible time because there was a very belligerent customer just yelling at her, "Where's my drink? Where's my thing?" And so they were waiting for Anna because of the moron guy. So there, yeah, how about that? Now, that's kind of a different story for a thing, for a name, isn't it? So the music here, it's rock, indie rock, garage pop might be something you could put in there. This was their second album. It was called Juliet, and Juliet came out in 2020. The band itself, it's a guitar band with trumpet. You can kind of think Cake, right? It could very much, similar kind of thing, except it's female singer. They're France. They're in French. And so, obviously a lot different with that. Inner sleeve, black vinyl, nothing really label. So the music on here, and there is no download card. It's kind of a post-punk meets indie pop arrangements, mixed in. It's very listenable. It is quite enjoyable music. It's cheerful, and it's filled with a lot of hooks, a lot of really nice hooks, and there's a lot of energy to it. This was a very enjoyable listen. Again, it's very much newer, kind of an indie pop type sound. So if you're into the heavy rock, or like I've been doing a lot of shoegaze and that's not it. The trumpet does add something. So this was their second album, and again, 2020. So this year, 2023, they came out with this, Principia. Again, in French, I'm sure it's pronounced something, Principia, something like that. So 2023, and it's filled with chiming guitars again. There is some vintage organ going on that sounds pretty cool. Sweet, airy vocals. And in fact, even, with that one and this one, I should mention, the vocals are kind of like a Stereolab vibe. Now, Stereolab was from France, too. And there's just that feel in there. When you hear that, that's where my mind immediately starts going to, kind of Stereolab. It is, the music is still, it's incredibly pleasant. Very nice to listen to. There's just these nice guitars happening, sing-along type lyrics if you can do French, and just this bouncing bass. And they add a saxophone. The first one we have more trumpet. Now we get a trumpet and we get a sax as they expand their sound. Now this one here, quite honestly, on my first listen, I don't know, what color is that? Salmon? I think so, that's salmon. The first listen, I really, it was okay. Yeah. This is one that's grown on me. I've had to listen more. The first album I bought, Juliet, I kind of dug in, okay, hey, this is pretty good. This one, after listening at first, listen to the second, a little bit different. But I'm finding my I'm finding my mojo with this. I am enjoying this. So brand new Principia. Good stuff. You're looking for a little something new, something different, something very enjoyable to listen to. blues. I got blues. It's just, I just got to get around to showing it and bringing it out. And my nephew, who lives up in Calgary, Chris Blues Guy Vinyl, well, a channel well worth seeking out. He is my VC nephew. For you, buddy. Here we go. Junior Kimbrough. And this is Most Things Have Worked Out. This was his last album that he put out. Born in 30, he passed in 98. This album came out in 1997, so it was at the end of his life. His real name was David Kimbrough Jr., but he went by the name Junior Kimbrough, which makes sense. And nothing special in there. It is on Fat Possum Records. Okay, this is Hill Country Blues. Hill Country Blues, but it creates a steady drone. And that's what he, Burnside, R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough were coming from the Hill Country, I believe down in Alabama. And it was this hypnotic drone that they created with their music. And it's done through just this constant throbbing of the bass. Of the bass string with their thumbs. So as they're playing, their thumbs just keeps on this bass string, keeps making this, just keeps adding, keeps hitting it, and it creates a hypnotic drone. He was very obscure. In fact, he had a juke joint down there, but just really, he'd put out a few things, I believe in 50s, 60s, it's kind of total obscurity, and then someone found him. And that was in 1992. So he was already coming, toward the end of his life. But he produced 5 albums between that time. And now other things have been put out. So this is Most Things Haven't Worked Out. Again, 5th album, 1997. 3 tracks of this are live from his juke joint. It's a very raw album. This is raw blues. It's not, the heavier rock of Chicago blues. It's not necessarily country, traditional country blues. It is because, there is this, again, the kind of that hypnotic feel happening on here. But, there's just some really, Burn in Hell was a song that I really liked. I mean, that baby, it's just a stomper. It is so good. The lyrics can kind of get buried under, the blues grunge that's happening. So you don't always hear him very well, or what he's trying to say can make it, hard. Some of the songs are very stripped down, but still really good. So Junior Kimbrough, he's great. I always enjoyed him. I'm a bigger R.L. Burnside fan over Kimbrough. But still, to get some of his music is always fun. So there we go. Most Things Haven't Worked Out by Junior. Next, I want to show some VCLT that I had that was sent to me from Mark Mad for Vinyl. And Mark is wonderful taste in music. Mark's been a very good friend of mine. We do trade albums back and forth. He goes out, he buys collections, he looks at things. He off to New York to find obscure stuff. His 45s collection is incredible, and he's running a series right now on 45s. If you love 45s, especially the pictures, the ones with the pictures on the front, this man has the collection. It's really amazing. Please check out his channel. Very, 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 very nice person. So the first one's VCLT, gave me a while back, but he warned me, he goes, it was sealed. It was a sealed copy. He sent me, a sealed copy of this. Beelzebub from the Dead Milk, but has the most famous punk rock girl is on here. But he goes, there might be warpage on there. And it was the first song on this side, and their side. There was a warp in there. And it was sealed, but he could tell that that was going to be the case. And he says, send it back to me and I'll get it flattened. Well, I hadn't. Well, my local store, Radio Wasteland, did get a record flattener. So he's worked on it. And now you can play through. Now I will say on one, when I was at the Radio Wasteland, it played through real nice on his turntable. On my turntable, it stopped twice. Tick, tick, tick. That's when 5 minutes later, go, boy, that song really just keeps repeating those same notes over and over. Kind of weird. It's not moving. That's why. It really flattened it out quite a bit. So I cannot complain. So this is just an incredible gift from him. Really, really neat. So here, the punk rock girl was obviously on here, but there's just, this is just snotty fun. We're having a good time. Punk music. Sri Lanka, Sex Hotel, Bad Party, Punk Rock Girl, Bleach Boys, My Many Smells, I Walk the Thinnest Line, RC's Mom, which RC's Mom is interesting because they add horns to it. Yeah, how many punk albums add a bunch of horns? Smoking Banana Peels, Born to Love Volcanoes, Nice Stuff But Me, I Against Osborne, Howard Beware, Ringo Buys a Rifle. Just goofy, fun things, irreverent, but yeah, very, very nice. So when I'm dead, I make a wish, find a wife who has read my little fish. Then he just recently sent me 4 albums. One of them, this one, Gang of 4, and this is an EP, Another Day, Another Dollar. This EP came out in 1982, and at that time period, Gang of 4 was just on fire. Everything they were putting out was really incredibly good, and this is no exception. Really, really good. Yeah, a song called Cheeseburger, of all things. Hell with Poverty, Capital History's Bunk, and What We All Want. Really, truly enjoyed this. This Gang of 4, during this time period, late 70s, early 80s, was just putting out incredibly good stuff. So, great EP. Really nice mark. This was sent from Vangelis. Came out in 1984. And for me, Vangelis, I know of him. I used to have some of his stuff, Chariots of Fire, Vangelis. But there's so much more to it. This was it's modern classical, from in the 80s. I think you could count it that. It's very atmospheric, very relaxing, very shiny on my light that's going on. Just something to chill out to. Good chill out music. And it has a crab on the front. Who doesn't love, well, they can be tasty, but I don't know, he looks pretty small. I don't think you're going to get a lot of meat off that one. There was this one here. I have no idea who the name is, but the name Dangerous Times. Found very, very little information on this, except that they did 2 albums, the shows and discogs, but not much else. Came out in 1988. It's rock. It's rock. It's not super. It's not hard and heavy rock. It's more, I don't know, just kind of straight ahead rock music. Nothing fancy's being done or anything. The vocalist is pretty good. It's off China Records. I don't know if this is a way of infiltrating our country or whatever. But 1988, just something different. A 5-man group coming, they're playing for us, and I actually never heard of China Records. That's new to me. So a different listen. Not bad music. Yeah, it's something I would play all the time, pull out a lot. No, but it was good. There's some good stuff there. You can find it out there if you're interested. Daryl Vickers, obviously you probably want something like that. And the final one he sent me was here. The name, no, not that. That was the name. This is called Death Set. The Death Set. And it is, the name of the album is Limitations Can Make You Creative. Limitations Can Make You Creative. A little punk, more experimental, almost art rock. I think is where you would, where this thing would be classified at. Label, not much there. Yeah, first I was thinking it would be more of a punk album. There's aspects of punk in there. They actually formed in, this came out in 2007. They formed in Sydney, Australia, but then within 6 months, they moved to the East Coast. So I don't know, Mike Rankin, if that makes them Australian or American, but this was recorded on the East Coast. But yeah, very a little more experimental. There are punk overtones in there, but kind of more of an art rock thing. So some wonderful albums from Mark. As always, I appreciate your friendship and always great communicating with you. So thanks, Mark. Some neo soul, and we have here very shiny. Look at that. Wow. Oh, very shiny album. This is from Leon Bridges, and his real name was Todd Michael Bridges, but he went Leon Bridges. He was born in '89, so he's the same age as my youngest son. Soul, neo soul type music. And let's see, we got anything special here. We do have some special things with this album. And we have the record itself. Nothing's just off Columbia. Kind of nice, isn't that? High fidelity design. Gives you, look at it, it's just an old school take, which is what he's trying to do. Trying to be a little more of an old school. So we have that, how to take care of our records. Notice even African American, which is really kind of neat because otherwise it all would have been white. And then it came with a little book. This is a reissue of his third album. And this came out, his first album actually came out in 2014, Coming Home. And I had that on CD. And boy, did that win some awards. He had been playing in, open mic nights for a number of years, and no one would sign him. And then in 2014, Columbia came along, heard him on one of these open mic nights, and signed him up. And so there he is. Joined, became a recording artist. And now this is his third one. This is Gold Digger Sound. Gold Digger Sound. Came out in 2021. So it's not a reissue, probably brand new. About Radio Wasteland, this is just this collection that someone brought in. A younger person decided we don't want to do vinyl anymore. It's smooth rhythm and blues. Very, very smooth. It's very pleasant on the ear. The vocals have this they feel effortless. It's just so smooth. Maybe almost a little too smooth for me. Some of the songs have a real nice deep groove that's going on, and at times you can hear jazz, just inflections of jazz being put into the music. It really embraces kind of the new soul movement, and it looks at the past. It takes from the past, but he's trying to make his own ground, trying to make his own sound and feel to it. And so he does. It's just a very, turn the lights down low type an album. Uh, Again, and not something I would normally buy when I buy my soul in that. But it was I liked the first album better, Coming Home. I really liked Coming Home a lot, and but that was more throwback. Here he's trying to get away from that, so good for him. Still enjoyable if you like that kind of music. You can't go wrong.
When it feels good, you don't have to try to. And if you say so, then let's go. I know you're all that I want is sentimental. What do I gotta do to get you on the back of my motorbike? Switch lanes, 20.
Final album. Got Brian Eno here, Another Green World. This was his third album, came out in 1973. Third album, 73. This was the album where he decided to do a departure from chord structure. You can see, and I bought, this was not from my original collection, but it has been in water, so there is some water damage on here. So he got away from more song structure. This is more a minimalistic approach, more thrill. It, most of the album really consists of deliberately paced instrumentation. It's really thought out a lot, and it is very ambient. There are a few pop songs in here. St. Elmo's Fire would be considered pop. I'm Come Running, The Golden Hour. But for the most part, it's this soothing, dreamy, filled slumber kind of. It's so relaxing. It is many considered his masterpiece, the must-have. This would be probably cool to get in a real in like a mo-fi or something like that. I would think the sounds would be very, very interesting. Here he began his writing where with words, just picking obscure words from cards and putting them together so things may not make sense. Very nice pickup from a very important classic album. So really good to see Brian Eno, Another Green World. And that's what we have for the week. I appreciate you dropping by. I'm trying to work on 1985 right now, best albums of 85. And man, there's some good stuff on that year. That was a good year for me too. Kind of 80s, I guess, for me. So appreciate you. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame mug. These mugs do not keep coffee warm at all. Just, I don't know, they're either made to look at, I guess, and not to drink warm beverages from, at least to sit around for 20 minutes. But thank you for joining me today. Have yourself a great week. See you next Sunday. Bye.